It is 10:23 a.m. and today I am going to set up a MIG welding situation in my shop. Got everything I need here. I'm gonna unbox it. I'm gonna set up all the equipment and start welding. See if I can do it by the end of the day. I'm not gonna be talking about technique today. I'm just gonna be talking about equipment setup. I have very minimal welding experience. I also don't want to talk about safety because I'm not an expert. You should watch other videos about safety from people who really know what they're doing. This video is about getting you from zero to welding. Let's get in here and see what we got. Blades for the saw and the welding cart. Oh, welpers. A regulator, flap discs. A portable bandsaw with a base. Welding wire. Gloves. Magnetic arrow holders. A welding helmet. This is the welder itself. Oops. And I'm just going to go through and talk about each thing, how much it cost, how I made the decision to buy that one, and how necessary it is. Starting with the most necessary stuff, obviously the welding machine, which is a Yes welder. It was $359.99. It's not the cheapest machine you can get on Amazon, but it's a beginner machine for gas MIG. Make sure that you understand the difference between flux core and MIG with gas. I mean, MIG is with gas, but sometimes people say gasless MIG to mean flux core. Also in the totally necessary camp, I'm gonna say the welding hood, which was $67.99. Although these come much cheaper, I was willing to spend an extra few bucks for a larger viewing window. Also necessary gloves, $18.99. You can get them cheaper as well. These seem okay. This is the stuff that came with the welding machine. It's the gun itself, the two clamps, which I still don't understand the difference between, and a gas line. Also totally necessary is some welding wire. That was $27.30. I think you can get it cheaper, although it didn't seem like there was much of a difference between the different levels of price. The regulator was $25.99. The kind of confusing one is the bottle of gas. I went to a local welding supplier. I paid $2.99 plus tax for this 40 cubic foot bottle. That $2.99 actually came with a free refill, which is a $55 value. So this is basically 2 bottles of gas, 1 bottle and 2 fill-ups of it. You can get these on Amazon. I think they're a little more expensive. They have to be shipped. There was a place nearby here that was a good option for me. I'll put a link to an Amazon one anyways, in case you don't have that option, but I think in most cases you could go to a local store. In fact, for any of these things, you can get them at a local place. Now we're into the strongly recommended zone. Pliers, $24.99. My understanding is that these are pretty essential as far as welding tools go, so get a good one. Arrow magnets, set of 4, $20.99, so 21 bucks for the arrow magnets. Flap discs, which I strongly recommend, but technically you could weld without them. A 10 pack for $18.98. Angle grinder is pretty close to necessary for welding. I owned this one already. I just looked on Amazon for what they go for now. It was $79. I didn't buy this, but I'll include a link to it anyways. Now we're into the nice to haves. Angle grinder you can use for cutting. But I'm sick of cutting with an angle grinder, so I got this very cheap portable bandsaw with a stand that allows you to cut using a clamp. I have never used one of these, but I think it will be very useful. And not necessary for welding, but certainly related, and this was $214.99. The final and least necessary item is a welding cart, because I want to be able to get this stuff out of the way, put it in a corner, take it out when I need it, and not have to reset everything up every time. The welding cart was $149.99. And that's everything. So now I'll set up the equipment and get to welding. All right, it is 1:24. It's been about 3 hours. I have my cart all set up, which was a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. The instructions weren't great and everything was really fiddly, but it's together and I think it'll work fine. Now I'm ready to set up my machine and hopefully get welding pretty soon. This welding machine comes with both of these things. This is a ground clamp, this is a stringer. This is used for stick welding, which I'm not doing today. This is the ground clamp that I'm used to using, so I'm gonna be using this. I'll put this aside for now. The next thing to note is that the drive rollers that came with this seem to be in metric. So I don't know if you can see that says 0.9, that's millimeters, and that's 0.8. This is 9 and 1.2, and this just says 8 on one side and nothing on the other side. I'm using 0.030 inch wire, which is 0.8 millimeters. So I'm gonna use the not knurled one at 0.8. To change the drive roller's in here. And to change that, you undo the tension on it and take off this screw here that's holding it in place. I'm gonna put that there. You can take it right out. Each roller has 2 grooves, and we want to use the one in the back. It's a little unobvious to me, but this one says 0.9 there, and that refers to the front groove. This says 0.8 there, and that's the smaller one. So we want 0.8 in the back, which means we're going to see the number 0.9, but we're using the groove on the opposite side. So that goes right back in the way it was. I didn't actually need to take it out, but I do feel like I needed to check. So I'll put this right back on and then close this up, put it back under tension, and the drive roller's good to go. Next, I'm gonna install the MIG gun. Take off this plastic cap here that came on the machine. This has a cap on it on the end. This is obviously the MIG gun. Take that cap off too. And then this connector fits right in here. And we can tighten that down by screwing it in. And that's good to go. Okay, so next I'm gonna install the spool of wire onto the machine. This is reverse threaded, it's left-hand thread, so we're gonna spin it clockwise to get it off. There's a little hole there that goes on there, which is a little bit hard to do. Also, this wire should be coming out the bottom here. It's like underhand toilet paper. Thread this back on again, backwardsly. And that wire is on there. I just have to release this bit of wire. Now, do not let go of this. That is the main thing. I'm going to snip off any part that's kind of kinked. Okay, so do not let go of this. We open this up. We feed this in here. And then on the other side, we have to make sure it goes into the MIG gun, which is that little nozzle looking thing in there. And we're in there. And it's sitting in the groove of the drive roller. And we're just going to go in about 6 inches or so. Bring this back down here. Make sure that's not slipping. So when I tug on it, it doesn't move a little, and we're good. can see here for MIG welding, we plug the ground clip on the right and the MIG gun goes on the left. So this goes here on the left. And this one goes right here on the right. Now that the wire is in there, we're going to run it through the MIG gun to come out the front. So first we're going to take off that and also the tip. Okay, the fan's running now, so it's a little loud, but if I hold the trigger, you can see we're feeding wire. I put this contact tip on here, put the shielder guy on there, using this side. Now I'm going to deal with the gas cylinder. The first thing I'll do is take off the thing here. What's this thing called? I don't know. Screws off. This plastic comes off. I'll put this on the cart. Then using these little keyholes here, I'm going to put this chain on. Move the welding machine onto the tank because I'm ready to install the regulator. I'm making sure that my gas inlet is clear of this tank. I'm now going to attach the gas line that came with the welder. And this goes right in after it. Take that down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to make sure that the regulator here is fully closed. Now before I install the regulator onto the tank, I'm just going to crack this a tiny bit and let air out in case there's any stuff in there. Now I can just screw this in and I will just give it a tightening up. When you open it with the regulator on, you want to stay a little bit away and make sure that nothing terrible is going to happen. We've got pressure in there and we want to open this up all the way. So now I'm going to set the flow rate. So this is open and you can see that it's giving me a reading here for the pressure in the tank. And as I start to open this up, you see that ball jump up. Now I'm going to turn the machine on. And as I feed a little bit of wire, there we go. It's way too high. So that's about 15. I want a little more than that. That's a little over 30. That's about 25. Let's give that a try. So the way this works is you select your process here. Manual MIG allows you to set all the settings, where a synergistic MIG sort of does it for you. Then there's stick and lift TIG, which we're not doing. So I'm going to do synergistic MIG. This allows you to set your gas. I'm doing C25, which is CO25 AR75. This allows you to select your wire diameter, 0.030, and then it's automatically setting for me the voltage and the current. So great, I guess that's it. It's about 3:30. My equipment's all set up. I prepared a piece of steel to run a bead across, and I think I'm ready to weld. So let's give it a try. All right, so I got my ground clamp on some clean metal that's relatively near to where I'm going to be putting a bead down right here. Wire out to the right length. Got my hood on, sleeves down, put the gloves on. And let's go. Okay, that was spattering like crazy, so something's wrong. I'm gonna check my settings. All right, I've turned my speed down to 3. And right away, this is a million times better. I think my speed was just way off. All right, I've got a little bit of a different setup now. I'm just gonna try to tack weld these two much smaller bar stock to each other. And now this is really nice. I think my biggest problem was trying to put a bead down onto a solid piece of metal rather than welding where two pieces meet. And this is feeling way, way better already. That counts as welding. Well, I scorched my table. The weld looks terrible, but I think that counts. I think that counts as welding. Right there. Very ugly. And if you're curious, it is $3.49. All right, well, I'm really happy with this. I did it. I went from not welding in the morning to welding in the afternoon. It took me about 6 hours, something like that. And I had some interruptions in there that I didn't talk about. Again, I'm going to put links to all of the stuff in the description down below, and I'm sure there's going to be people who have a lot of comments about this because I'm not a good welder, so please let me know. Please let me know what I can do better. I know I need to keep dialing in my settings. I know I need a better setup with a real fabrication table. I need better fireproofing. There's a lot, so please let me know. I am not ashamed. All right, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.